Hi everyone, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Thanks very much for watching our earwax removal compilation video today. Two very interesting cases. Both have the same features in them though, so it's a really interesting one to watch, this one. So this first patient here, you can see he's got a lot of wax in the ear canal there, feeling sort of very blocked up. So we're just going to use the standard sized Zollner tube here. So this is the wider of the two suction tubes. It allows us to get a really good grip on these bigger pieces of wax, especially when we're working on the outer part of the ear canal here. So you can see we're taking this first section away. I've just slowed it down so you guys can see what's coming away here. And we just got to that next piece of wax just behind. Now you will see that quite dense cilia. These little hairs are on the outside part of the ear canal, which is what you can see just in front of my camera there. Now we have those to stop any bigger bits of dirt and debris from entering the ear canal, so they do have an important job. It's not really obscuring our view too much. We'll leave those there and we'll work through them. And we'll just, you can see as we draw these pieces down, it brings the next section of wax forwards. So let's just give this a bit of a wiggle. Now what you'll see with the two patients today, this first patient has almost like the precursor for what the second patient has. So you're seeing this condition in various stages here. I will explain it. I'm not going to spoil it, although I probably have in the title, I'd imagine. But I won't spoil this bit for you so you can see what's coming up next. So a very dry, hard piece of wax there. It's quite dark, so it's aged a little bit. Always, I get lots of people asking me in the comment section, well, how old do you mean when you say it's old? Really difficult thing for a time scale on. I'd say this is at least a couple of years old, this one. It's really dark in color. Wax is slightly acidic, so when it oxidizes with air, it turns a darker color. So that's how you know. So newly formed wax is cream. Older wax much darker. So what you'll see here, we can see we've just got that little tiny sort of bit of oil really on the ear canal wall there, and a tiny bit of sticky wax just here. So I'm just going to attempt to take this away. Lots of little hairs in there as well, you can see embedded in there. Let's draw this down the canal. There we go. Out that, kind of stick a little clump of hair out with it as well. And we'll just get to this next little bit of what looks like dry skin and wax here, just at the top portion of the ear canal there. So your sort of attic part of the canal. Almost all gone. I'll take a look back again. Just clear this little front section here. What we're looking for on this one, the condition I'm going to tell you about, is usually occurs quite close to the eardrum. Not normally sort of on it, but close to it. And it can look very similar to another condition, which I'll explain to you now in a second. I can't wait to get to that bit now so you can see what we're talking about. There we go, just do a little bit of a peel here, just getting some of this dry skin away. Another little bit at the base of the canal. Let's lift that bit off. There we go. Let's have a little look at this eardrum. Looking nice and healthy on that side. So let's have a look at this other eardrum now. When we take a look in here, oh no, sorry, this is still the first one here. Just get that little clump, if we can, just get the little clumps of hair. Patient was finding this really tickly. There we go. You can usually extract the bigger clumps of hair using the suction because you'll just have enough of a suction grip if they're clumped together. When they're single hairs, it becomes a lot more difficult to get hold of them, unless you can sort of ping off an end. There we are, we just managed to get that one away. So there's the eardrum. It looks nice and healthy on this side. Let's take a look at this other eardrum. So this is the one I was talking about earlier that has this very specific condition. So we're going to go in now and clear this first so we can get a good look near the eardrum and you'll see exactly what we're talking about. So this patient has what they call an exostoses. So it's a kind of a single solitary exostoses. Now, what this is, it's a bony growth really in the ear canal. Now, if you've ever heard of the term surfer's ear, this is the kind of precursor to surfer's ear. Now, normally what you get with surfer's ear is you get 3 bumps, which I'll show you in the next patient's video, which is going to come up after this one. But you'll see in this particular patient in a second, when we take a look, they've actually only got 1, which is more common than people realize. And it wouldn't really develop to anything else. And sometimes it can not be related to the same condition, which is surfer's ear, which is basically repeated exposure to cold water. So you can get these kind of bony growths in the ear canal, and they usually form in 3s. So your bottom 2 will form first, and your top one will form last. So sometimes you can get these odd. Now you'll see it, I'll zoom in on it now in a second so you can get a good look at it. There you go. So that's the section we're talking about there. So that's a little bony growth. Now you've always got to be careful with there because it's just above the eardrum. It's not behind it. Now, if it was behind it, then we're more likely looking at a cholesteatoma, which would need intervention. But that kind of bony growth, as long as it's not pressing into the ear canal too much, you don't actually need to do anything about it. You can have them surgically removed, but unless it's really causing you any issues in the canal, I wouldn't bother. So you can see 2.5 centimeters, 1 inch. Now, this is surface ear, so this is how it progresses. You can see those two bony outgrowths I was talking about there at the bottom, and that white bony outgrowth there at the top. Now those two bottom ones form first, and the top one forms later. So you can see this is a much more advanced stage of this, and how they're coming into the canal on each side. Now if they were touching or getting really close together, then it can become problematic. But because there's still a gap there at the moment between those three little bumps, patient doesn't necessarily need to do anything about it unless it was causing them issues or problems with a repeated infection or something like that. So this is the patient's other ear canal here. We're just going to remove this plug of wax here on the one side. So it's super, super sticky. So we're just going to wiggle it about. There we go. So we can just detach it from the canal wall. Take this out of the ear canal. I got a little bit stuck on the way out. There we go. Out that pops. And we'll take a look behind that then, and you'll see, there we go. See how those bony growths are there again, but they're not as pronounced, and that top one is a little bit smaller. So you can see how it's more advanced on one side than it is the other. The reason they call it surface ear is it's more prominent in people with regular cold water exposure, really, which is why it got deemed surface ear. So you can see this is the plug that we removed, 3/8 of an inch, just under 1 centimeter there. So a nice round ball there. I did actually show the patient their ear canals as well, so I could show them what that surface ear looked like, which they were really, really interested in. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching our video today. Have a lovely weekend. We shall see you again on TikTok and on YouTube on Monday. So as always, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of your ears, and take care of one another. And I'll see you again then. Bye, everyone.